This is a demo for the new learning objective and proficiency capabilities in the student interface. So first, let's say, I'm starting with a course. I'm in the Learn page and I want to get started. I'm a student. I go into my course and I see this learning objective introduction here that's going to introduce me to the different learning objectives I might encounter in the author's chosen section. And I can also see here what is proficiency and how is it estimated. So I'm just showing here that that is also designed for mobile. And if I expanded this, I would get an explanation that proficiency is our best estimate of how likely you are to successfully apply a learning objective the next time you use it. It updates as you complete course activities and is based on evidence from your overall work. Proficiency estimates become more reliable as you complete more activities. And then there's some information about each level of proficiency with its related icon. So then let's say, I got introduced to my learning objectives. Now I'm in a lesson. I will see the learning objectives at the top of the page as they usually are. Now they'll kind of be highlighted here in a container so that it draws my eye to it more. And I'll always have the ability to expand on that section about what is proficiency. And if I mouse over these icons, I should receive a tooltip saying what level, I am at for that objective. And it's just showing again, I can expand that at any time and that this has been considered for mobile. Then let's say that I've gotten to maybe the end of a section, and this is all chosen by the author, so I will get into that in a second. But now I'm going to receive a summary of how, I did on proficiency wise with those learning objectives. I'll see if, I have strong proficiency, things that I'm applying right now. That's great. And then if there's anything recommended for me to review. So these are learning objectives that maybe I have the beginning proficiency or low or a growing proficiency, kind of like a medium, that maybe I need to do some extra work here. If I expand into those, I'll see some next steps for me. This is all provided by the author, which I'll get into, but maybe there's some pages for me to revisit, or if your course has additional practice materials, you could link to that here as well. Maybe I don't really understand the concept. I could use Dot to explain it, and that would be hooked up to our existing capabilities with Dot. Once again, you can always review what does this mean, and it's available in all of these designs. Here it is on mobile, and here it is in dark mode. So in order to insert these elements in authoring, there's a new content type known as objectives. So say that I would put that into a page. I'm an author now. I would just choose if I want an introduction or a summary. So this is a drop down. This explains a little bit about what the introduction is. I can choose to include sub-objectives in here if I want, and they'll just be formatted under a learning objective. I can remove any objectives that I want from this. So this is actually sensing where I put it, what the objectives are. So if I put it in Unit 1, it's going to include all of the learning objectives and sub-objectives in Unit 1, if I have that checked. And then if there aren't any objectives in the container I placed it in, then it's going to give me a warning for that. Same thing for the summary. I'm going to see, a little explanation of what's going on here for learners. And here I have the opportunity to supply that extra next steps that we saw in the learning objective summary. So I can add pages that the learner should revisit or any additional practice. Again, I can remove an objective if I wanted to, if I don't want them to see it for whatever particular reason. And, I could restore that if I made a mistake. Same thing, if I place it somewhere that there aren't any learning objectives to pull from, it's going to give me a warning.